I really don't want to do this.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars, and before I go any further, I'm sorry. This is a mono blue Oops All Counterspells deck featuring Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel as the commander. Malcolm's really good, and a lot of people play him. And you know what? People asked me for a deck list, so I made a Malcolm deck list. This deck is card draw, counterspells, and eventually playing some very big spells for free using Malcolm's abilities. Malcolm has Flash, which is great when you're trying to hold up mana for counterspells. You get him into play, he attacks in, and then once he hits, he loots, which gives you a way to find more counterspells. He also gets a chorus counter. Once you have 4 chorus counters, the card that you discard on that loot gets cast for free, which means that he's card advantage, he's card filtering, and he's damage in the air, all to support you getting out your counterspells. Malcolm's a pain in the butt, and in 1v1, not very fun. This deck has a little bit of proliferate in it too to help get additional chorus counters, so you don't have to get necessarily all of the hits in, but you can kind of tell what's going on in here. You attack, you get the cards, you hopefully win the game. You're going to notice that in a lot of the games in this video, our opponents are not going to play the game through. In fact, they are just going to leave. Because once you stop somebody from doing something long enough, they'll just leave because you're not letting them play the game. And that's kind of what this deck is doing. It's not letting your opponent play the game. There's lots of good silver bullets against this kind of deck, like Cavern of Souls and Allosaurus Shepherd, but Malcolm on his own is still a pretty powerful dude, and his ability to then loot away the counterspells means that you can get access to the other spells in the deck. One of the cooler pieces with Malcolm is actually Tiberius's Ageless Insight, because it turns that loot into a draw to discard 1, which is good card advantage on just a 2-mana commander. So we're going to take Malcolm into the queue, and we're going to tell our opponents, no, you can't do that. Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh, perhaps a crime-doing dragon. I don't actually know, though. Sometimes this is just Grixis control, and we do have good pieces to stop Grixis control. You want to target my permanents? I can counter it once. I say one of the harder things if they are a full control kind of deck is they can attack my hand pretty easily. Ooh, that is a repeatable source of card draw from my deck. Agent of Rafine is a really good card. Kind of silly good. Repeatable card draw should not cost 2 mana. You want to steal my counter spells? Well, it's not like I can stop you. They didn't draw. Sounds to me like they're holding up perhaps removal for Malcolm. Let's find out. You want to get rid of Malcolm? A small price to pay. Yeah, they tails end the Malcolm. That's fine. An Ornithopter of Paradise. I think they're missing land drop, so we could also have memory lapsed that. I'm going to make my Storm Tamer very curious. Is it a land? You could try to take a land from me, too. Alright, so they did find a land. Spell Pierce the Arcane Signet. Playing land, swinging in. islands. Beautiful islands. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Sinister Sabotage. Ooh, discover the formula. That seems rude. Take that. And ideally, I don't have to counter anything this upcoming turn, and I can just discover to discount everything in my hand. Classic Mono Blue Tempo. They went first. Okay, so Chromatic Lantern, I will let it resolve. Everything in my hand is now discounted, including River's Rebuke. I have too many cards in hand. What a problem to have. What a problem to have. All right, I'm gonna drop the Mystical Dispute and Confounding Riddle. I'm considering snapping and discovering the formula again. Yes, to somebody in chat who asked. Oh, they're gonna try and steal from me. Okay. You may have one card. Wonder what it was. I won't find out. How could she hold all these counter spells? I can't. There's too many of them. And we will make a spirit before we go in for the card draw. I could actually use a land. I'll drop Neutralize and Syncopate. Agent of Rafine! Put that back on top of the deck. Ooh, they can take this hostage. So I can't stop this with the Storm Tamer, but it's not worth it. I will simply make another one. Ah, lands. Aren't they sweet? I hate looking at this. Draw a card, yes. Ooh, anti-counter spells. Finally, we don't have to discard, because I'm not I'm not just like randomly putting more cards into my hand. They're just passing through. Malcolm. Said good game. I guess we say it back. Listen, I don't know if you think whatever spell you have is going to resolve. I feel like you know it's not going to. This gets me my own Sublime Epiphany. It was either that or Gear Hulk. There's only 2 potential cards for it. GG! Xenagos, God of Rebels. Beefs up your creatures and has them swing in with haste. Also is in colors that have access to a lot of ways to stop counter spells. They're going first. I'm not able to cast my counterspell on 2. We're going to keep this and see what happens. Something that's always obnoxious about decks like this is we may not have access to a counterspell all the time, but they don't know that. We now have access to a counterspell. We drew an island. Like, green and red have access to the most things that just say I can't be countered on them. That's why we have some bounce spells in here. Like you, Hullbreaker Horror. Oh. We're going to Harrow. So bad news. Sacrificing the land is part of the cost on that spell. So we're going to counter it and feel a little bad about it. We want Pirate. Doesn't really matter, though. They're not going to have counter spells. Playing the Signet, holding up the Brazen Borrower or Malcolm. A Goblini that discounts the cost of red or green spells. Malcolm. I'll swing in. Drop this island. I'm going to Time Warp. Oh, I meant to put a stop there, but this is actually fine. I'll attack in again. Found a counter spell. That's good. What do I want to drop here? I'll drop the Salundi Vision. Pass the turn. Hey, Xenagos. Sanctum Weaver for more mana. I'm okay with that resolving. I'm going to use the Petty Theft to bounce this Goblin back into hand. I'm going to draw 2 cards. Keep meaning to put the stop there. Oh, I keep missing the timing on the stop. I'm trying to get out the Cyber Siphoner faster. This is fine, though. We got all the counter spells in the world. This is our 3rd counter here. I didn't say please into this deck, but you totally could. It's a cancel with an upside. Alright, that's the Goblin. I'm gonna say no to you. Drew Karn's Bastion. Aw, Delighted Halfling. I'm just double checking the amount of mana I have here. Yes, okay. Malcolm. This is our 4th one. We drop our Hullbreaker Horror. We now have a free Hullbreaker Horror. And yes, I fully agree. Hullbreaker Horror is able to bounce things on the stack and permanents on the board, which means that landing anything at this point, with them being behind on lands, because we countered their sacrifice ramp. Yeah, that's rough. Good game. Lazav, the Multifarious. Lazav is a 2-mana commander that can transform into things in the graveyard, and when he enters the battlefield, he surveils. I'm not fully sure what to expect from Lazav, other than maybe a bit of self-mill, putting things into that graveyard. I'm ready to counter that Lazav if he comes down on turn 2. Okay, here comes Malcolm. Are you going to kill or counter him? I didn't play the Cavern of Souls here. I will actually put them on top of the library. That is fine. Because I needed to be able to cast the counterspell for their commander. They'll name Pirate. Hashtag Yar, hashtag Yoho. There's now 3 mana. They're going for Lazav. Essence Capture. Pass through. And Lazav again! I'll dismiss it. Draw a card. Their commander's really not that frightening, so I could be saving my counter spells, but I assume that their deck, because I'm not familiar with it, has some strong interplay that I need to be wary of. Liliana of the Veil. I would prefer not to play against her, thanks. Malcolm's out. Malcolm's swinging in. Yeah, they either want, like, they must have a play for Lazav because they keep playing him. So now I've got a generic counterspell, a taxing for flexible counterspell, and a counterspell that's only for the big boys. Extinction Event. Riddle me this. What's the card that is on top of my deck? Curious Obsession, Shore Up, and Nefarious Ageless Insight. I'm going to go for Ageless Insight here. Get some cheeky extra mana. Well, I would like to use that mana, thank you. Some extra draw. This will now become a draw 2, discard 1. I have a counterspell for a creature. I have a protective spell. They are in black, so they could have some kill spells. And I'm 1 mana short of this. Angel of Suffering. Angel of... Never mind, I'm in the graveyard. But Lazav can turn into it if it's in the graveyard. But they have to spend 5 mana. Oh gosh, there's a lot of things. Am I afraid of abilities? I'll drop Slip out the back. We're about to start casting things for free. Though the things here I don't really need to be casting for free. The Whirlwind Denial I'm mostly interested in because of its ability to counter abilities, kind of like Tail's End. As we get into these bigger things, it can be pretty helpful. Okay, so Blood on the Snow is being neutralized! Let Lazav resolve, and then bounce him back into hand in response to his activated ability. That would be the sneaky rude move. Okay, we get to draw. I will cast the Solundi Vision for free. Getting a Seagate Restoration into hand. That'll be good to cast for free next turn. I'll play this, use the blue mana, so this is just a little uncounterable Siren Storm Tamer. Pass the turn. Siren Storm Tamer helps protect Malcolm. It's also really good if we get, like, Curiosity or Curious Obsession. Just a good little flyer. We swing in. Graveyard Shift. I'm actually tempted to just, like, let that resolve and throw it back at the hand. But we got the denial, so we'll deny it. Mono blue doing mono blue things. Sure is, huh? Wait, no, we cast this for free. We draw 6 cards and have no hand size. Awful. Thanks, I hate it. Get down the Mox Amber here. Yeah, no, I would leave too. I would leave too. Yarrick the Desecrated. Doubles the enter the battlefield triggers on all of your creatures. And other things that are triggered by permanents entering the battlefield. Counts things like lands that enter the battlefield and scry. Counts landfall. This is an okay hand. We do have a counterspell, a more kind of a more open counterspell here. Most of these are only going for creatures because I just assume we're mostly matching against creatures. They go first, though, giving them the first opportunity to land something, unless it's blue. Nope, that's a Signet. That's fine. Pass the turn. Gonna scooch my lands over here. 3 mana. Nissa. No Nissas. That has a landfall. Get a mana. Don't want that. Unfortunately, the Ring Temptation goes nowhere. I could exclude the Halfling, so I can still counter that. But I'm actually less worried about countering their commander and more worried about countering everything else in their deck. Yep. Yarrick lands. Ooh, some curiosity. We're up to 2 chorus counters now. They'll be hitting me for 3, gaining 3 life. Going up the beans! Here, now you'll draw another card when it enters the battlefield. Using Virtue of Knowledge. It's blue. Sure. They didn't attack with their pesky hobbitses. I'm going to use this. Fading Hope. 3 back into hand. Undo some of their ramp. And it gets me a Scry. Oh, an Arcane Signet. I don't feel like I need that right now. I'm going to make a very curious pirate. We will draw, and then we will draw and discard. We're about to hit the 4th counter here. Would you like to draw some cards? Ooh, they're going to take an extra turn and draw a card. I want a free Emrakul. Oh, Emergent Ultimatum. Actually, not what I expected, but, you know, this could be a not as built around the enter the battlefield stuff. My guesses are going to get, assuming they're actually a Yarrick deck, Ravenous Chupacabra. Doesn't it kills? Oh, I was gonna say Koga also would get there. Doribus of Sea Gods? Ooh, spicy. I'll put back the monkey, because the monkey would stop my commander. And I'll let them have these 2 things, which neither of them really do enter the battlefield stuff, but they are good cards. You're taking out my curiosity. So I could either destroy one of these permanents. we could just take a turn. Their turn. We can use Nissa to destroy Kiorabest the Sea Gods. That sounds pretty good. Doesn't say opponent controls. So, bam. A 13-13. Good game. Thank you for playing a fair Emergent Ultimatum. Kentorius Canned likes to cheat out spells through the Discover mechanic, and likes it when you cast things from exile. If you cast a spell from exile, you drain your opponent for 2 life. Something that's going to be kind of tricky in this match is that, well, they went first. Which means that they have a chance to land something before we can counter something. They didn't, though. Turn 2, they're still just sitting here with 2 mana. Possible that they're holding up removal for my commander, but I don't think I would be playing it. Alright, so that's a Virtue of Loyalty. I could memory lapse this. It's kind of a difference of, like, do I care this much? This is a tempo play. I'll still take it. The Virtue of Loyalty is back in hand. I'm tapped out. Here's their chance to land something on the battlefield. See if they take it. Conspiracy Theorist! Likes it when they discard stuff. Okay. Part of why I also lapsed the Virtue of Loyalty is because this is a pretty powerful spell, and I'd like to not have to deal with it. They swing in. Are they going to pay the 1? They're discarding this. I assume exiling it. They can now play it until end of turn. Well, if I sabotage the Signet, then they can't play this and this stays in exile forever. Do I want Vendilion Click? Yes, I do want Vendilion Click. Gives me something that I can flash out in front of this conspiracy theorist. Do they pay 1? They don't. My guess is that means that they're going for Kentorius here. Hi, Kentorius. I don't have a counterspell for you. Do you discover? No, they're making a bird. Or a spirit. Those are pretty much birds. This is also birds. Chandra Hope's Beacon. Little Kentorius, who can recast spells like these from the graveyard. This Chandra is probably the scariest thing here, but the other 2 are pretty good too. Nice. Getting 2 4 manas. Certainly a helpful thing. Slam it to Kentorius. And hope that they play the other elephant here. They do have double white off Mana Confluence. The elephant in the room. It's Kentorius, isn't it? So they're planning on playing the Kentorius this turn. Here comes Malcolm, and we either want to use Glorious Gale or Essence Capture. Use Essence Capture. Make Malcolm a little stronger. I'm also going to make Malcolm a bit more curious. And ageless in his wisdom. I would like to draw cards, thank you. Okay, and we get to discard here. Discard one of these lands. They can exile using Elspeth Conquers this or this, or using Kentorius, they can just be aggressive since they have these good creatures on the board. What I've been looking for is River's Rebuke or similar kind of like mass bounce spell, but I haven't found one yet. We're swinging in for 8 damage. It's going to bring me down to 6. Do you exile the Insight or the Click? Can't hit Malcolm. You only cost 2. Can't hit Malcolm. You only cost 2. Taking out my other blocker. I'm looking at what I've got. I can return one of these to hand. I'd probably have to do it on my turn. Let's see what we're able to draw. Blocker, bounce. I'm going to discard the Seagate Restoration. Play the land. Again, because of this ability here, I do need to, like, get bouncing now. Don't need another land on top, thank you. And I will be able to use this ability here, but I can't cast any of these spells. They will all cost too much. Malcolm is currently, yes, drawing 4 and discarding 1. Ooh, the invasion of Golbakan! No, that's fine. You can tax one of these. I can't stop you. They can take something out of my hand, so I can't cheat it out with Malcolm, though. That's pretty smart. Next turn, they'll be able to bring back Kentorius from the graveyard. Yeah, just because my life total is so low here, my full priority is on just not getting hit. They went for the actual counter spell. Probably a good idea. You want to go for removal? Ooh, a lightning bolt! I will prevent that, thank you. Malcolm is the only thing keeping my skin in this game. Do they have a way out? Because they used the lightning bolt there instead of on my face. Do you have another lightning bolt? Lightning Helix! Oh, perfect! Glad to have a good old game against Kentorius. GG. Zada, Hedron Grinder. Copies spells that are targeting one of your creatures. If you cast an instant or sorcery and it targets Zada, you copy it for all of your creatures. So usually this is like big hasty spells or damage enhancers, things like that. And since it's red, it's aggressive. It has access to some good burn. No, I don't want a Pact of Negation that game. I don't want to lose the game on turn 0, funny as it is. I'm good. Monstrous Rage, yeah, that's a great thing to copy off Zada. A Kiln Fiend. Counter that. Mox Amber. They know I have a Pact of Negation, I'm pretty sure. To name Pirate. Hashtag Yar. And I'm going to Fading Hope this back into their hand. See what I can get. Mystical Dispute.
Friendship
is magic! Pokidave, thank you for the 3-month resub. I'm just looking to slow them down a little bit, since I mentioned before, fairly aggressive deck. Is Pokidave Pokemon's brother? I don't think so, but you'd have to ask them. This can't tap for mana until Zada or another legend is out. That's exactly why we have that Tail's End at the ready to stop the Zada. Draw. Go. Terrible, just island go. So I could make disappear this. I think that's probably a pretty good move. We use Snapcaster for it. I just don't want them going wide, because going wide is scary with Zada. Hedron Flame Sage. Here you have a lot of text. It looks like you get free instants and sorceries. Cool. Fist of Flames. They draw a card. And the higher this thing's power is, the deeper it looks at the spells available. Looks like they whiffed. Tiefling Outcasts. Malcolm. Mystic Sanctuary. We're going to grab the Tail's End back so we can counter Zada. We are going to not at all suspiciously put it into our hand. Oh, I wonder what is in my hand. It's this. If I get another land, I know I just dropped a land. We'll also have Hullbreaker Horror next turn. Kind of hoping they, like, dedicate some resources to killing Malcolm, yeah. Because then I can just replay him. I can even, like, replay him as a blocker. The other Tiefling Outcasts. They have the mana for Zada. They're just like, ah. Yo, I feel you. I feel you. I'm the one playing the deck, and I get it. They do the thing. They got a spell. It was Rile. Ooh, gonna ping your Keldon Flame Sage. That's cool. That's cool. 7/8. You can block and do other things too. Good game, Zada. Oyer Khazlim, Deepest Growth. I will keep this. We are on the draw, and they're going to be ramping and getting out, well, a god. A god that will get them more creatures and more lands. This Delighted Halfling is not what I want to be seeing, though. Stopping my counter spells on their legends. Might be needing to use this. Otawara. Ramble Familiar. Oh, it's so cute, though. Listen, Delighted Halfling. It's not you. It's me. She stops counter spells. My commander has other uses, like dying. Just dive bombing the halfling. Yes, and yes, and It worked! Elesh Norn, Gran Cenobite! I have a feeling that this deck is going to be a lot of aggressive white cards, but then Elesh Norn is a big finisher. If Elesh Norn is on the battlefield, my commander is just dead, gone. Forever obliterated. But she pairs well with weenies, so maybe we'll see a lot of like really aggressive little creatures. I'm going to assume that they're just going to be playing on curve, so I'll hold my Censor, my Tail's End, and my Malcolm, who's coming on out. Didn't die. I guess that's a good sign. I'll swing in. Slip out the back. I will take that. I'm going to drop the Staff of Completion. The reason Staff of Completion is in this deck is to help me proliferate these chorus counters, which I don't feel I need right now. It can also be card draw in an emergency. I could just slip out the back against this, but I will censor it instead. Save my Archmage's Charm for a bigger spell. We draw. There's a Snapcaster Mage, so I can recast something from the graveyard. I will drop the... Arcane Signet. I am going to play the Mystic Sanctuary. It comes in tapped. It's not going to return a spell since I only have 2 other islands. Palladium Mirror. No ramp, thank you. Counter to spell. Elsate of Life's Bounty can protect a permanent that's on the battlefield. Time for chorus counter number 3. I'm going to drop Slip out the back. Play the land. And CGB is actually in our chat right now to watch my horrendous crimes.
Thanks to @Lord_Pi_ for my sub gift.
I was thinking about just grabbing the Slip out the back here. I'll just negate it for now. If they have a second piece, that's when we'll grab it. Well, thank you, Lord Pi, for gifting a sub to CGB. And CGB, look! I built a mono blue deck! I hate it! I can technically sacrifice this to protect itself, to blank my Brazen Borrower. Not emoting while I play this. Is the Oko not enough for you? Alright, what are we casting for free? Guess I can draw 2 cards. I think I have enough counter spells in hand. Oh, I certainly do. They're up to 6 mana. A Bounty Agent. Put that back on top of the deck, please. Ooh, Wandering Emperor. Yeah, you can exile Malcolm. I don't mind. I don't have anything cool to cast for free. I cast this idiot. Move my commander to the command zone? Sure. Attack the Wandering Emperor? Sure.
Until next time,
And there goes the Bounty Agent again. Bounty Agent is able to kill Malcolm. I'm trying to decide how much I care about that, though. Not really that much. Here's Malcolm! We can technically even Tail's End it. Oh, or they could just trade. We draw, we drop. Okay, we also have our Hall of Storm Giants, which we can animate. I could have technically done it there since we were able to hold Pact, but Since they still have 2 cards in hand, and Elesh Norn perhaps playable on just 1 more land. Invoke Justice! Nah. Yeah, okay. Bye, Elesh Norn. Thanks for letting me counter all your spells. Ah, another flashy commander. Abara, Dreaming Duelist. A 2/2 with flash that drains you whenever you have a fairy come out. Well, I say you. It drains me. This is going to be a little tricky, since this is a 2/2. We're a 2/1. They both have flash, and we can absolutely trade in the air. Thankfully, I have a shore up to help me out. I'm also going to throw down this Mox Amber, so I can, like, play Malcolm and protect him on the same turn using shore up. I suspect this is going to be some fairies, but mostly flash. Oh, they played it at sorcery speed. Okay. Malcolm. Right, that's not his creature type. He's a pirate siren. Pirate. Listen, you want to play on your turn? I'll play on my turn. Look, 2 flash commanders just coming out and giving each other little, like, doe eyes. Like, how you doing? Oh, okay, they're attacking. Cool. I will attack. I don't know what's going on, man. Oh, a fairy mastermind. You know that's not gonna resolve. You know that's not coming into play. So that's why they wanted me to draw an extra card so they could try to draw an extra card. Notably, that was a fairy. Picklock Prankster getting out a 1/3 against my 2/1? I'm going to play this land first. I am actually going to swing in. And we're going to shore up. Greetings. Gix. No Gix. Gix gives you card draw. Only I can have card draw. Do you have a counterspell for my counterspell? Okay, no. Still attacking in. Attacking with Malcolm. I'll drop the Sulundi Vision. And then I'll do the Time Warp. Counterspell on Time Walk. Time Warp. That's the one. I'm tapped out. Now's your okay. They just, I guess, want to do, like, 2 damage at a time. Oh, I didn't manage to get full control mode on time. I was trying to proliferate this. That's fine. We will drop Augury. If I'm not casting it for free, I may as well just hold up the Torrential Gearhulk. This will give me a really good clock. Bring out the Gearhulk. We can recast Augury, Vision, any of these. Vision goes deeper, though. Take Kindred Denial. They will know about it. Fairy Vandal. It's a fairy! Swinging with the Gearhulk. Giddy up. They've got 6 mana. Maybe they have a Gearhulk of their own. They're not casting anything. I'm just going to bring out this shark. If I can't counter stuff with it, I may as well try and break things out. Oh, it was a Gear Hulk of their very own. They'll counter it. Nice. Mouse those to hand. And try to get some free stuff with Malcolm. GG. Ah, a fellow Malcolm. The last, like, 3 Malcolms I played against just kind of left the game before we could even get started. It kind of bummed me out. Well, here we go. I'm going to keep a hand that doesn't even have a way to stop your Malcolm or stop you from stopping my Malcolm. I will play this on my turn, so it can't be countered. How do you do, fellow Malcolm? Would you like to kiss? What if we kissed in the middle of the battlefield? So alluring. Don't mind me. Looking for cards. Siphoner eventually will be good, but for now, I'm just kind of looking for lands. Hopefully we can find a way to bring it back. Nice. Cool. Consider. What am I considering? A blink of an eye. No, attack! Do you counter my Malcolm? Or do you play your own Malcolm in response? A stern scolding. Go, crab. No, attack with the crab. Come on. You know you wanna. Fairy Mastermind? Exclude. You dare disallow me? No! I want to draw a card. Hey, Malcolm. Malcolm, you want to see something funny? Wait, can I hit you from the graveyard? Can't. All right, so we're gonna try to pact it. So Epiphany is one of the best spells to copy with Gear Hulk. So we're going to try and use that first. That's what I get to draw on this turn. Draw 2, discard 1. I'm sad it didn't resolve, though. I want to make a copy of my Gear Hulk. It's not no versus nope, it's nope versus nah. Does this just cause the universe to die? A little bit. Hey, Malcolm. This old man. He resolved. A blink of an eye. Oh, I just realized I could have Glorious Galed this. Make him into the ring bearer. Oh, that would have made me so happy. The one ring. To rule the old man! We really want to cast him from the graveyard. Because then he makes our stuff uncounterable. I feel in no good ring temptations. Stay a while and listen. I'll let my old man survive for now. Quick study. You and your fancy card draw. I have a way to do card draw too. Hey, whoa! Whoa! I was gonna make my old man so curious! It was gonna be great! Silent departure. I love the crab going in. The crab going in gives me so much life. Oh, look! I wonder what's on top of my deck. They have to draw and discard. What goes in the gravy? Ah, Curious Obsession. Oh, curious. Just a couple Snapcasters kissing. Isn't it cute? Would have been best to do it in their upkeep. Oh, look at you and all your mana. I can have mana too. So close to this actually going through. Playing that while they're tapped out. I wonder how many big spells they have. Because we have, I think like 6, I would say, big spells. Lier to shut off my entire deck. I'm good. Got 4 cards in hand, 1 card's in hand. They have enough mana to continuously recast their commander, whereas I don't. But like we got some good stuff in hand. And I just hit 8 mana, so I can drop down the cityscape lever and start going to town. They might have something like Invoke the Winds to steal it. Face the wind! Malcolm? Malcolm? Come on, man, what's going on? I'm gonna level their cityscape. Kiss? I said I kiss. I don't know what's up with this. It always thinks I'm trying to give them popcorn. No, I'm trying to kiss. Malcolm and Malcolm sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G. Salt roping from a Malcolm deck? Bro, you're playing against a Malcolm deck. I get it. My deck is salt inducing. You also get it. You're playing Malcolm. You're playing Malcolm too. If there were ever 2 Spider-Men pointing at each other, it's us. It's just so unfortunate that some people they'll play a deck like this. And like my opinion of this deck is I get it. It gets wins. If you have a good start, it's almost impossible to catch up to. It's a tempo deck. And it will make people feel bad if they can't execute their game plan. This was not one of those games. We both executed our game plans. Like we were both doing the thing. But apparently that's not enough for them. That's just... They're just not into it. They're just not that into it. Yeah, they can dish it out, but they can't take it. Shame on you, Moncana. Shame on you. You get the finger waggle. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. I hope you hate Mono Blue as much as I do. I don't find this deck that fun to pilot. I'm sure I made plenty of suboptimal plays, but you know what? It's not really my style. I'm not that big on Mono Blue, but if you are looking for a fairly budget-friendly deck, this actually is. I have a lot of the higher, like, rarity spells in it, but it's a monocolored deck, so the mana base is pretty accessible. And a lot of the counter spells are actually uncommon. So, yes, there's some good rares in here, and you can kind of pick and choose them, especially when it comes to the high-end ones. But this deck is accessible to newer players if you have a lot of common and uncommon wildcards. Like, looking at this 1-drop spot, I think all of these, except for that Mox, Amber, and Pact, which this is not actually 0 cost, those are all commons and uncommons. That's just how it rolls when you're running something like Oops All Counter Spells. Well, if you want to say no to your opponents, the deck list is in the description of the video. I do suspect that Malcolm will have harder matchups in a few weeks. This is the kind of deck that right now it's a new deck, so it's matching up against everyone. But over time, kind of like Brawl, it's going to end up matching against stronger and stronger decks, and decks that have a bigger advantage on this kind of tempo game plan. So get your wins in now, I guess, while you can. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.